we doing today? Where the fuck is this thing? Where are my forms? Oh, this guy. Here they are. Here they are. And where the hell is my Google Sheets? View folder. No. No, don't touch that. Do this. Yes. Ugh. Where the hell is my... All right. Da 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 da. My goodness. All right. Da. All right, we have this guy in the previously submitted it. Let's have a look. Yep, looks pretty anonymized to me. Okay, let's take a look. Let me take a freaking look. So this guy's comment is, I want to get my resume reviewed as a fourth year CS student graduating soon. I want to be able to update it as I start applying for new grad positions. I'm open to full stack, front end, back end, as well as AI/ML. Okay, cool. So your fourth year, generally just looking for feedback, I suppose. Full stack, no target specifically. Okay. Okay, sounds reasonable. Just have a look. Let's do a wonky color. Let's do this cyan thing or the blue thing. I guess that's cyan, right? Okay, highlight of skill. So we have this thing. The header's good. Highlight of skills is a bit different, but let's have a look at that. Okay. Front end. Okay, so this is pretty generic. And then it looks like you're a bit short on room. So to be honest, I feel like you might be better off served without that header, but or without this summary, I guess you could say. But let's get back to that. U of A, science, that's fine. This is all fine. This is okay, right? Basics, I don't think is that important. Intro web dev, right? You gotta keep in mind that if you're going for new grad roles, especially, this is no longer the internal, right? If you're going for new grad stuff, it does matter a bit more to have, a bit of catering, right? Like at the undergrad level, an intro to web dev course is not going to mean nearly as much as actually having a web dev project, which I assume you do, right? So, this is a bit redundant to have. So if I were you, I would cut this down to maybe one line. If you have some courses that you really enjoy, you can put them down. But stuff like intro to web dev, basics of ML, software engineering principles, I would definitely not have those on there. Okay. Lead TA, course developer. This is TA. So TA experience, front end experience. Okay. Weekly meeting to discuss course for student concerns. This is fine. I think this is not very, from what I can, this is not very technical. I don't know what course developer means. I'm assuming it means you work on actually the course itself, but it's unclear what you've actually done to change the course. Like I know you're over here, you're meeting with people to design and revise course content. It's not clear the outcome of that. It's a bit intangible, I could say. So the course developer part is a bit weird, but I think that's fine. This is your front end experience here. Okay. Reducing user interaction time by 25%. Okay. Improving the visual consistency and usability. I mean, it feels like, generally speaking, you want to increase the user interaction time, right? Is this like decrease, like removing friction for doing an action? Because this, the way it's phrased right now, it sounds a bit like a negative, to be honest. I would probably just rephrase that. Even though I think I understand what you mean, I would probably still rephrase that. Overall, I mean, this is still okay. I would drop a bit more information about this point. So, for example, yeah. So it's a good summary. I know what it is. Interactive UI, UI that's not interactive is kind of it's a bit self-explanatory, right? Improving navigational experience can be quantified. I think if you want to quantify that by using this point, so for example, you've condensed the options to make it quicker to do certain actions. That could be a quantification. But right now, these two seem a bit disjoint. I would also drop information here, like for example, if you're talking about accessibility, or you have front-end performance considerations, that could be something you can definitely put in. But otherwise, this feels a bit bare bones. And there's nothing wrong with bare bones, but it just feels a bit bare bones. Okay, projects-wise. Okay, so this is not too recent. So these are a bit older. Okay. Co-developed social networking platform in responsive cross-server content sharing. What does that mean? And responsive interfaces, boosting efficiency by 20%. Yeah, so it's 20%. Are you saying that cross-server content sharing is boosting efficiency by 20%, or you're saying that all these together are like, efficiency here is not very quantified, like efficiency as in like, are you saving on cost? Is it faster? Is it more responsive? The efficiency here is not well quantified. And also, to be honest with you, I don't think any of these things really contribute to efficiency. So I would probably change that out for a different point if you have a different point. Yeah, this is fine. Okay, Byte Swipe. Hackathon, okay. Yeah, okay. It's like a hackathon, just a pretty standard hackathon project. Nothing to say much about that. The first point here is good. Figma is kind of okay. Let's look at the skills here. Oh, nicely separated that. That's good. LaTeX. I guess LaTeX is a language, isn't it? Okay, fair enough. Okay, so you have Node and React. Where is that listed? This is just Java script and HTML CSS. This is also HTML CSS. This is Java. That doesn't apply. Do you actually have what is this? This is Flutter, right? This is Flutter. Okay, so right now you don't actually have a project, right? Am I blind? No, I'm not blind. So right now you don't actually have a project which shows React and Node proficiency, which is kind of important if you want to go for front end stuff. I mean, like, I don't mean React specifically, but a front-end UI framework like React, Vue, Angular, etc. Node is less important for that. Node is obviously not just for front-end, and you have Django, Flutter for that, so that's fine. But I'd say the biggest thing to improve this right now is, I'd say the highlight is not necessary. The highlight you can remove entirely. I would get this down to one line. I would expand a bit about some of the points here that don't really make sense to me or are a bit confusing. And I would work on a project that's more front-end oriented if you're going for those roles. Okay, moving on. So, wait, what's the date today? So today is 12/7. Where is 12/7? So 12/7 is over here. So I'll put start. Great. All right. Let's take a look. So we got a couple submissions from today. Okay, this one looks fine. Let's do it. I should also mute my Discord, shouldn't I? It's probably annoying for you guys. Here, I'll mute it here. There we go. Great. Let's have a look at this. So what's this guy's comment is aiming to land 4 to 8 month internship, a 4 to 8 month internship in embedded firmware position. Okay, cool. 4 to 8 month internship in embedded firmware position. Okay, cool. 4 to 8 month internship in embedded firmware position. Okay, cool. 4 to 8 month internship in embedded firmware position. Okay, cool. 4 to 8 month internship in embedded firmware position. Okay, cool. 4 to 8 month internship in embedded firmware position. Okay, cool. 4 to 8 month internship in embedded firmware position. Okay, cool. 4 to 8 month internship in embedded firmware position. Okay, cool. 4 to 8 month internship in embedded firmware position. Okay, cool. 4 to 8 month internship in embedded firmware position. Okay, cool. 4 to 8 month internship in embedded firmware position. Okay, cool. 4 to 8 month internship in embedded firmware position. Okay, cool. 4 to 8 No other context. Let's take a look. So UBC, okay, 2026. Skills, IoT particle. Not sure what that is, but that sounds relevant. Arduino, Verilog. Okay, okay. Let's take a look. Awards, that's fine. Experience, mechanics research. This is last year. This is 1 year. This is, what is this? Web developer, made it for preschool. Okay, that's fine. And projects wise, wait, so you're in third year, second, third year. What are you going for? Yeah, so like third year basically. Okay. Let's have a look. Okay. Optimize pixel plotting, memory cloning. Accelerator. Okay. Hardware accelerators, Avalon interface, VGA, Verilog test benches. That's good. Platform designer to integrate custom hardware, FPGA based Neos 2 systems. That sounds pretty clear to me. I would say, the clear thing that's obviously missing here is that if we're building accelerators, especially hardware accelerators, a couple quantifiable numbers here would be helpful, right? Like for example, I mean, okay, I don't know the industry standard for benchmarking in this one, right? But what kind of acceleration are we looking at here compared to like pure software simulation or whatnot, or a more pure? Is this for display integration? I'm not sure this is GPU based. Like it says FPGA. Okay, so it's not quite GPU. Okay. I would still say if you quantify anything regarding performance, that would be really cool, right? For accelerators, I think that'd be cool. But otherwise, I think it's pretty clear. It's just that, project based, we want to see some numbers, see what kind of stuff you achieved. It doesn't even matter if the numbers aren't that good, to be honest, right? The numbers don't have to be good. It's just that the numbers have to show that you tried doing something. It has some tangible outcome. It's not meant to be, economically feasible. It's just meant to be like, you've thought about it. Okay. Arc for I don't know what this thing is, but that's pretty cool. Decryption circuit, pseudorandom to decrypt ciphertext efficiently. Right, efficiently. You got to quantify that if possible. Otherwise, just don't write that down. Right, it doesn't add to the point. Right, implemented a ready enable handshake protocol. Have a data transfer. Maybe I don't know this thing very well, but if you can quantify the kind of bandwidth they're talking about, that would be kind of cool. Single port RAM initializer permutation table key scheduling algorithm. Don't know what that is, but that sounds pretty cool. Brute force key search algorithm, 100% speed by executing in 2 parallel instances. That makes sense. Very believable. Comprehensive RTO test benches verify correctness each phase of the algorithm. Yeah, that makes sense. For this kind of thing, I don't really know the industry center for testing and this kind of stuff. I'm not really in firmware, but this sounds like a reasonable point to put here, so I think that's fine. Okay. Crash shell, C Unix, signal handling, minimalistic shell. Execute commands, manage jobs, handle signals, okay. Job process management, job IDs. Handled, concurrent operation recognition, main loop. Stage Austin, okay. Custom tokenizer parse. So this is a minimalistic shell to execute commands, manage jobs. This is like a pet project or something? Okay. Yeah, I feel like this is fine as well. I mean, really, I think this is pretty clear. Not much to say about this one. I think maybe one thing that's missing here is a justification. So if you just made it just to make it, that's fine. But typically speaking, there's a reason you want to do this, like for educational purposes or whatnot. Although right now, it seems like it seems a bit out of left field. I don't really know why this was made in the first place. If there's some like obvious benefit over some other shell I don't know about, you should put that in. Because right now I don't really understand what the benefit here would be. But it's fine. I mean, technically speaking, it's still fine. So I think it's fine to keep on. It's good to keep on. Computational mechanics research Python collaborated with a fellow UBC engineer students. Research. Okay, turn the phone. Okay, makes sense. Docker portability efficiency product. I don't know if you need a whole point for Docker. That's not too relevant to firmware or mechanics. So I think you can put this in your skills and just leave it out here, to be honest. Advanced combination models investigate. I would elaborate a bit on some methods you have here, because if you're taking 2 lines anyways, right? If you're gonna take up 2 lines, you should put some more details in here. So I would like to see a bit more detail there. Okay, web developer, full stack development, proactive communication, spending requirements, balance time constraint. Yeah, this is fine. I think the website link you can put like right over here. It's a bit more eye catching, and people who want to click it can see it right away. Otherwise, yeah, this is fine. This is, I mean, you're not going for web dev, but showing a bit of full stack skill can definitely help. Doesn't hurt. Awards wise, this is fine. I'm looking at whether or not you can combine them up here, but no, I think it's fine to put these over here. Skills wise, I looked at those already. Did you have Django up there? What do you have? Wait, was it Django? Yeah, you had Django here. I would put Django here. I would put Django here. You could put, for example, languages / frameworks, and then you can put Django over there. You know, put at the end or something. Yeah. Otherwise, firmwares, I don't have too many comments. I feel like it's okay. Couple things to add is just, you know, quantifying data, and this point over here stands out a little bit. Format's fine though. I think the format's perfectly usable. My resume is 2 pages long. How should I submit that? There's only one image allowed. So you can combine them to one image, but the reason I only allow one image is because if you have 2 images for a resume, you probably screwed up. So you can submit 2, concat them into one image. But you should be thinking about why you want it to be two pages. And also, I should probably start mandating that if you upload 2 pages, you should have to explain why you have to. All right, next one. What is this guy? This guy, yeah, looks okay. Okay, what's this guy's comment? This guy's comment is to get an internship. Okay, I should have a minimum word count because this doesn't, like, saying that you want to get an internship doesn't help me at all. Okay. Links are fine. Don't need your number, but that's fine. Okay. Ooh, that's not right aligned. Or are you purposely not right aligning it? Anyways, that's fine. Okay. So we're looking at what? 2027. So second year. This is recent. This is ongoing. This is kind of recent. And then let's have a quick look here. Blah blah blah. Yeah, that's all fine. Oh, lowercase p. Nice work. Okay, so just to get an internship, no details. All right, let's take a look. So this is recent. Okay, so developer intern company spearheaded the website upgrade for okay. Okay, so first thing is that, you know, if you're doing website stuff, I don't really care how many listeners you have. I care about how many website viewers you have, right? So that's the round number to put there. So I would put the other one instead, right? Like how many website viewers you have. This initiative significantly improved. Wait, what? Spearheaded development. I think your grammar's off here. This should be significantly improving the overall experience of the website. And I would also say, you know, like, what does an upgrade mean? Like, are you upgrading dependencies? Are you upgrading the framework? Are you making new logic, making new modules? What are you making here, right? So it's unclear right now what upgrade's being done here. So it's hard to quantify the technical capability here, right? And also, if you just say upgrade, it's not clear how, like, what kind of upgrade would it be for you to improve the overall performance and experience. So this is too watery. For developers, Drupal 7 to 8. So okay, so this is what you mean by upgrade. This should be in the first point. Spearheaded the WebGet migration from Drupal 7 to 8. Because, like, if you look at it, these 2 points are the exact same thing, but the second point is just objectively better because it actually has the information we need. Added in-place content editing, enhanced multilingual support, engagement 20%. That's fine. Blah blah blah. What is it? What? Within established timeline, resulting in a notable cycle over 1,000 unique visitors, and increased listener engagement. Right. So over here you have visitors, and over here you have listeners. Right. So I'll make them both visitors because the listener count doesn't really matter for the website. Okay. This is a project. This is ongoing. Blah blah. Okay. Treatment. Wait, what? Analyzing patient records to create tailored treatment plans, leading to a 45% increase in treatment effectiveness. This is really, I mean, if this point is true, that's insane. Personally speaking, this, for a project of a second year who is not in the healthcare field, this is something which needs significant backing up. Okay, so we need to quantify what does treatment effect? How's this measured? Like, how's this measured? Okay, that this is a very, very substantial point you put here, so this has to be backed up. Also because everyone in the industry knows that Gemini AI is probably the worst of the major ones right now. So, you know, you kind of have to back your case up. It has to be believable. Okay. Blah blah blah. It's diagnosis. So this is the thing, right? Enhancing diagnosis accuracy by 60%, compared to XYZ, right? You're missing a major piece here. But the point otherwise is fine. Like data is good. It's just that it's completely floating in thin air. Secure drizzle or their drill time. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. So one thing to keep in mind, right? A theme I've seen here is that you have data points like reducing x by some percent or increasing x by some percent. But when you say that and you create it, because like you didn't, this isn't like a work where you build on top of something. If you create something from scratch, there's no relative comparison, right? The only relative comparison is what existed before, and nothing existed before. So you would have to quantify this, like reducing data retrieval time by 40% compared to using some other ORM or something, right? So like relative points like this don't make sense for projects if you don't establish what the previous state was. Okay, so what is this? Real-time code editor, collaboration, blah, blah, with instant updates and minimal latency. That sounds contradictory, no? How can something be minimal latency and also instant? That seems a bit contradictory. Achieve sub 200 millisecond response time for real code synchronization across clients, enhancing collaborative experience for users. That makes sense. From a technical perspective, this is something that you might be challenged on in like a behavioral, right? But I think for a resume, this is totally fine to put in. Scale backend architecture, 7 concurrent users per session, optimize performance, integrates. This point is good, by the way. Urgent version control, improving user productivity by 30% compared to traditional text editors. So this one you have compared to, right? This one I can believe, right? These things make sense. That makes sense to me. I can believe that, right? Okay, great. Yes, so this is a good one. Now, what I will say is that scalable backend architecture and proving that by saying we support 7 concurrent users, for a project, no one's going to challenge you, okay? But you could argue to get rid of the scalable adjective there because, I don't know about you, but 7 concurrent users, like, isn't like that big of a scale personally. So I would personally maybe remove that adjective, but again, no one's going to challenge you on a resume. Maybe in the behavioral they'll ask you about that, but so it's up to you to decide. Okay, this thing, file sharing app, 200 daily uploads, Firebase, handle, file, yeah, that's fine. Cleric, blah blah, that's fine. Yeah, this is all fine. Pretty standard stuff. That's fine. Okay. So your comment was to get internship. So I think the data here is actually pretty good, but right now some of it's not very for the projects. I mean, it's pretty it's not very connected, right? This one especially has some comments on this one. This one I think is actually quite good overall. These two last two I think are pretty good. Work experience wise, you gotta fix this up, right? The first and second points don't make sense side by side. Either combine them into one, or have the first point only say what you did and have the second point have all the data, right? So there's a bit of organization that can definitely be had in the work experience, but otherwise nothing too major. Okay, let's go. What's going on in the chat? I have a resume. Could you hide the information? No, I cannot hide the information. You need to hide the information. Mine was the embedded from a resume that you just reviewed earlier. Would you recommend replacing the awards with relevant coursework instead? Where's the awards? Where were you? You were this guy? Let me take a look. So coursework wise, look, I don't know. Wait, where's your coursework? Oh, you have no coursework. If you have, so here's what I'll say. If you have embedded coursework, or if you have, like, I don't know how many embedded classes you've been taking or how many hardware, signals, etc. you have. I'd say because you have no experience in that yet, right? You only have this research one, which is not like directly related from what I can tell. So, whoops, what'd I do? Yeah. So if you have more, like if you have more courses related to that could be worth putting on over your awards. The awards right here are pretty for someone like even I'm local and I still don't know what the hell these things are, to be completely honest with you. Okay, so I'd say yeah, coursework in this case will be more relevant. If you have awards that are tied to your university, did you name your university? Yeah, you did. So if you have awards from UBC, that would hold a lot more weight than these awards over here. So I would say yes. I would get rid of at least get rid of 2 of these awards. If you really want to have one, if you're really proud of one, right, you can put one there. Otherwise, I would put one line here for relevant coursework. And I would say the moment you get some relevant experience, I would get rid of the coursework and the awards first. That's what I would do. Okay, forgot to mention this would be for backend. Who are you? Oh, for the current resume, you Ottawa. Is this one? Oh, this is you. Okay. I forgot to mention, this would be for backend full stack general big tech positions. And what did you write in the notes? 2025 internships, barely got any interviews. Looking for new grad positions next year. And then you said backend full stack general big tech. Okay, great. Let me have a look. Okay, so that's fine. That's fine. That's optional. That's 2 languages. Ooh, Kafka enjoyer, nice. A lot of front end here. This is front end. Fast API, is that front end? What is Fast API again? Web framework from Python. Okay. Okay, so that's fine. Yeah. Okay, this is good. So you are 2026, 2024, third year, fourth year kind of area. Tesla incoming 2025. Oh, okay. I saw the wrong date. No, that's fine. Nokia. This is current. This is this year, earlier this year, end of last year, year before that. Okay, so you've been working quite heavily last year or so. Okay, makes sense. So a lot of experience, 2 projects here. Okay, I like the weighting. So let's have a look at the details then. Why can I not zoom in? Oh, this is already max zoom. All right, whatever. That's fine. Okay. Model-driven rudder management, C++, enabling dependency tracking between config fields, allowing users to apply config changes from strict order operations. What? Develop new features for a model-driven rudder management interface. Okay, I don't know what model-driven means. That can probably get, unless the model is relevant here, that you can get rid of that adjective. That doesn't describe anything. Rudder management interface in C++, enabling dependency. Because keep in mind, right, this is the way, like, especially if someone who's non-technical is reading this, you gotta keep in mind, the first person you gotta pass is a non-technical person. Okay. Enabling dependency tracking between config fields, allowing users to apply config. Okay, so a couple of things here, right? So this point has too much information, and not all of it is relevant. So the first thing that's not relevant, in my opinion, is this model-driven piece. I don't really know what that means, and for the rest of the point, I don't think that matters. Okay, that's the first thing. The second thing is that unit test, you can get rid of that point. The unit testing, you can kind of show what the technologies. Do you have a technology here? You don't. I mean, just put JUnit here or whatever language. Oh, this is C++. Like, what do you have there? Like the Google test framework. Like whatever you have here, you can put that as like a technology or a tool, right? Or if you really want to talk about how much unit testing you did, you can put it as a separate point at the bottom. You don't want to clutter your main points with unit tests. That's not a thing. Okay, so just keep that in mind. All right. So from this point, the first point, I understand what it is now. Okay, but one thing I will say is that this piece here, right, is a technical is a more technical explanation of what's going on, and so this is like the how, right? This is the how, and this is the what, right? So that makes sense. That makes sense. I would say, you know what? Let me read the rest of the points first, and then let me figure out what's going on here, because I feel like this point's really loaded, but it might be needed. Reduce path file dependency. That's good. That's not related. This is not related. Okay, great. So okay, the first point makes sense. I would since this is your most recent experience, I would actually allocate another point over here, and I would say like I will allocate another point. So your first point can solely be based on the what, right? Like what did you do, and then you can have a second point, the one right after that, follow it up with the how. So that way you can expand on both the customer centric side of like what did you actually accomplish, and you can go into more detail about dependency tracking between config fields. Because I assume there's more about this than they didn't say in this, in just these 5 words. So the second point, you can actually really elaborate on how you tracked these dependencies. That could be something interesting you can put in. Right now, this is the opening point is a bit dense. I think the rest of the points are fine. Rest of the points are fine. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. I will also say that things like C++ and Python, you do not need a bold. Okay, like these things you don't need a bold. That's not like C++ and Python is not making or breaking this point or this experience. You don't. That's not like don't bold that, right? This thing you can bold. That's pretty good. That's then you can bold that. Don't bold this. Don't bold that. This. Like don't bold technologies. That's not relevant. If they want to know what technologies you have, they look at your technology side. Okay. So don't bold technologies for the most part. If it's like a unique thing or it's like really critical that they must know that you use this technology to accomplish this task, okay, then you can bold it. Otherwise, you don't need to. Okay, great. RCMP, subject intern, Neutron files, last 5 per second, multiple Excel sheets, batching updates and transactions. Good point. That makes sense. Architected, fast API Python microservice, blah 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 blah. Deploy using multiple TensorFlow and deploy using time. I feel like this. I think the word here is wrong, right? Architected, provide a simple version using multiple tensor ML models and deploy using. I guess that's fine. I know it sounds a bit weird to me, but I guess it's fine. It's not really an issue. Multi-thread inference on the ML microservice, improving total runtime by 35% over sequential inference. No, that makes sense. I mean, I don't know if you're allowed to say for the resume and stuff, but I would go into a bit more detail about the kind of customer justification for this. Like, why are we doing these things? What was the pain before? 5,000 rows per second, that's a bit unquantified, is a bit hard to say as well. I would, if I were you, I would, I don't know if you can anymore, this is, a while ago now, but I would rephrase, and this is generally true, by the way, but keep in mind that rows per second is an ambiguous amount of data, right? Depends how large each row is. So generally speaking, it can be a bit more objective by rephrasing this into like data per second, like bytes per second, megabytes per second, etc. So that would make it a lot more objective, and that would give readers a bit more idea of what's going on, because right now we don't know how many columns in a row. And I still feel like this wording here is a bit weird, but I can't really pinpoint it, so it's fine. It doesn't matter. Okay, so this is test automation intern. Next devices improved error handling, messaging. Create a bash or automating programs on Ubuntu and setting install time by over. So I would rephrase it as decreasing install time. Right, time is usually is usually you can't really accelerate time. So I would say decreasing is slight nit there. It doesn't really matter, of course, but I'm just saying what I notice. Okay, this one is pretty good. I like this point. First point is also quite dense, but I feel like this time it's actually like it's like both of these are like what is going on here. That makes sense to me. So I feel like this is fine. And again, right, test automation intern, a lot of tests. This is automation. This is automation. So I feel like the points here are quite topical. I think this is quite good. This one's quite good. Okay, now we're going back a little bit now. So this is 2023. Okay. For rapidly prototyping, create a new internal tool for testing prompts in TypeScript and Vue for rapidly prototyping AI features. That makes sense. I can believe that. Develop API endpoints, DTOs Java, connecting the main application to AI microservice. Okay, that's fine. I would probably be a bit more specific here, like for example with Spring, with what's that one called? Javelin. With just Java, it's a bit unclear, what's going on here. So maybe just clarify that up a little bit. Capture log AI request metadata and fast blah blah. This is okay. And forwarders. Okay. I make sense now. That's fine. Okay, sure. Implement a validation to the Spring controllers to So it is Spring, right? So put Spring earlier in the points. To put new limited license feature. Okay, that makes sense. Limited license feature. Is this the same API? Like, is this the same layer API as this one? If so, I would combine these 2 points. Right. If they're not the same API layer, then you can just leave them as is. That's fine. Okay, so. Well, same one. You came back. So if in this case, what you can do to save a line actually is you can just get rid of this thing, and just indent this one level, indent this one level, and then if you keep the dates here, it'll be pretty obvious what's going on. So you can consider that if you want to save a line. And I think that you're not scrunched for lines, but you could always save a line, right? So you can consider that. Not mandatory. You can consider it. Run foreign components, blah blah blah. Yeah, very clear. It's whatever QA test. Okay, so the QA stuff, right? A whole point just for QA, It's nothing revolutionary. I would consider getting rid of that point personally. And you can save a point. You can put it for one of your projects. A QA point for this kind of stuff doesn't really say anything, right? So I'd say you can get rid of that, or you can keep it if you have nothing else to say for your project, or you can just keep that, right? So you can go either way. Okay, have a quick look at this one. Scalable. Okay. Collected set metadata processing. Separate services and Go. Okay, sure. I can believe that. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Second best technology. Okay. Blah 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 blah. Okay, lot of stuff here, but this is, I think, for a hackathon, right? For a hackathon, that's pretty good. Okay, let me just review. Let me just remind myself what's going on here again. Remind myself, where the hell's my spreadsheet? Here it is. You said use resume 2025 internships. Barely got interviews. Looking to upgrade. So one thing here is that, I mean, the resume here is not weak. A couple things can be clarified here in terms of like the data points and ordering. Those are pretty minor, generally speaking. I'd say right now it's a matter of volume and nailing the auto A's that you do get. So I think in terms of resume optimization, you're basically there, and your time is better spent elsewhere. That's my opinion. This guy is crazy. Who's crazy? You're gonna love Tesla. I was there this summer. It's insane. General question: should you include technologies like GitHub, Jira, VS Code, and resume, if or is it a given that you would know it? That's so first of all, I mean, that's a great question. I mean, I'll also comment that Tesla's pretty fun. A lot of interns there that are really into the same mindset, and Palo Alto's a nice city. Okay, about the question that Jessica asked, I would say, obviously everyone knows that kind of stuff, right? So you don't need to put it on. But if you have room, like for example, this guy, right? It all fits in one line. Doesn't hurt to put it on. Because keep in mind that recruiters, like humans, they aren't actually doing what I do. They aren't actually reading every skill they need, right? When they hire for a role, it's already been filtered to the resumes that have the skill listed, right? So people who are actually reviewing the resumes won't be reading the skills and technologies. Okay. So in that context, it does not hurt to put it on if it doesn't cause you to use extra space. But yes, it's true that stuff like GitHub, Jira, VS Code, like second degree technologies that aren't like actual, developer tools, like for example Git, you don't need to put those on at all. And even Git, you don't really need to put on, but generally speaking, yeah, it never hurts, right? Never hurts. Yeah. Okay. Moving on. Oh man, we have a lot of resumes to get through. Let's see, what's the time? 20, yeah, usually what these things I do is I stop taking submissions at 3 p.m. and then I just speed through the rest of the ones. Okay, this guy didn't redact their resume, so I'm not reviewing this one. Didn't redact. So if you didn't redact your resume, submit again with it redacted. Otherwise, I will not review it. Same with this person who has a resume that's not redacted. You know who you are. I don't need to say it. You know who you are. Okay, go and fix it. All right, this one is redacted. Okay, I can look at this one. Yeah, I say this every time. Yeah, you have to redact your resume because I don't want to get more YouTube strikes. I don't want to get I don't want to get my ass pushed in again because, man, it's annoying because the entire stream got taken down last time, like the VOD. And if the VOD gets taken down, then everyone, no one can see the resume reviews anymore. So that's why I'm pretty strict about that kind of stuff. All right, anyways, a comment here is trying to land a new grad SWE role, graduating in April 2025. Okay, sounds good, sounds reasonable. Okay. All right, skills, that's fine. Okay. Found Tableau, Power BI, GCP REST, okay. Ryerson. I think this thing is renamed now, right? So if I would personally put Ryerson /TMU or Toronto Met. I've seen it both ways. My assessment of the ATS HR space right now is that all of them recognize TMU now. So you don't need to worry about that aspect. But obviously, if you're worried about it, you can just put both on here. It doesn't hurt. Well, I mean, it won't be confusing to any human. Okay, Bachelor Engineering, Software Engineering, blah, blah, blah. Okay, that's fine. Work experience. This is recent. Bell, that's earlier, and these are a bit longer ago. Projects. Capstone pro. This is what are you? Your software? Software engineering. Okay. Uh. Okay. This is ongoing, right? This is ongoing. This is also ongoing. Wait, what is this? Okay. It's a bit. I say it's a bit weird for projects to have an end date. It seems like you know when it's gonna end. This one makes sense, right? Like this one, this is a coursework essentially. Okay, I believe that one. Not really sure why this one has an end date. So it's a bit weird, but generally speaking, I would say you can just put September 2024 to present, right? That's a bit more normal. Okay, this is okay. All right, let's have a look. Okay, enhanced usability 5% Cybertruck add deployment to REST APIs. Accurate part genealogy. Enhanced usability for Cybertruck app. I wonder how this is quantified. Is this like CSAT score, or is this time spent on app, etc.? It's a bit vague right now, but I'll let it slide. Improved operational efficiency, operational decisions by improved decisions by. Okay, that's different. Improved decisions by 50% by architecting automated ETL pipeline with Python and Halcyon Vision. This one feels a bit hard to believe personally. What does it mean to improve a decision by 50%? So I feel like the easiest way to measure that would be measuring the difference in output, but that's not what's being said here. So, typically a more believable quantification to this kind of point would be increased increased data volume, sample size for making decisions. That's typically the easiest way to quantify it. Saying improve a decision by 50% is difficult to swallow. Okay, reduce test load time. Okay, that's viewable. Real-time email alerting system, preventing critical. Wait, what? Developed real-time email alerting system with Python for retail pipeline, preventing critical data loss and unavailability. Okay, this one's a bit hard to believe as well. I'm not sure why a real-time email alerting system prevents data loss and prevents unavailability. Are you saying that this helped, for example, the on-call experience, which then by proxy helps these two scenarios? Because from a reading perspective, there's like having an email system doesn't actually prevent data loss. So I would have to rephrase this one. This one doesn't logically make sense, so I would rephrase it. I know what you're going for, but it doesn't make sense as it's written right now. Reduce manufacturing of 100,000 with defective cells. Auto tool shut down by integrating Python and JavaScript. Reduce manufacturing of the terminology here is wrong, right? Reduce manufacturing of a quantity. Like, are you saying reduce manufacturing of defective cells by 100,000 units with auto tools? Or are you saying of 100,000 plus defective cells, you reduced some part of that, right? So the English here is a bit off, but the data is fine, but the English is off, so you got to fix that. Okay, Bell Canada software engineering. Bell. Okay, reduce annual product cost by 100K. Automated product benefits analysis. Okay, that makes sense. Automated manual coffee chat status with SQL. Okay, this is pretty funny. You're an intern. I think this is fun. I think that's totally good. 50 plus many hours automating financial expense calculations for 60. So if this was previously manual, this should be quantified as hours per time. Like, for example, reduce 50 plus hours per year, or 50 plus hours per month for this, right? Because otherwise, it seems to me like they would have had to do this ongoing manual action, which you have automated, right? So I think the quantification here could be changed, but the point is good. Semantic where I think this word issue is from failing. Python downtime analysis. Wait, what? Prevented 100 plus mining equipment from failure. I think it's prevented 100 plus pieces of mining equipment from failure through development of Python downtime data analysis algorithm. Is this for maybe so for example, let me just put words in your mouth so you can see what I might be thinking, right? So it seems like this is trying to say prevented 100 plus pieces of mining equipment from failure due to fatigue through development of Python downtime analysis algorithm. So I don't really understand what downtime has to do with. Well, like what downtime has to do with mining equipment failure. Like I'm not making that connection personally. You might have to be a bit more specific on that one. In fact, it feels like having downtime actually helps equipment from failure because it's not running. So from a layman like myself, I don't understand anything about mining. So you might have to just be aware of that, right? I don't understand how these two things are correlated. Improve mining equipment application accuracy by 20% with real-time alerting for 100 plus users with CloudWatch. Improved mining equipment application accuracy. Okay. With real-time alerting. Yeah, so again, right, I don't really understand mining, but I don't understand how having alerting 100 users, real-time alerting for 100 users, can increase mining equipment accuracy. Like, are you saying that the users are controlling the equipment, and by alerting them in real time, they can better use the equipment? That's kind of my interpretation of it. But again, I'm not confident in that interpretation. So a bit of a rewording needed here, because like both these points, honestly, like I can see what you did, I can see how it could help, but what you've written here just doesn't fit my understanding. Okay, this is reduce cost on wait time. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Wait, what? But restoring data availability and analysis on 1 million plus data points was put. Improved data execution time by restoring data availability and analysis. That sort of makes sense. Like, so you're saying it's 70% faster. Okay, okay. And you did that by restoring data availability. So previously data was not available. So I mean, like, that's huge, right? So that's huge. So that's great. And then it seems like this is the parent point you're trying to refer to. So you're saying, so they have 1 million data points, and you did this for them. So it feels like, okay, I think I see what's going on. This one feels like it should be 2 points, if I'm understanding it correctly. This one should be 2 points, right? This is 1, and he did analysis for this one. Right, I feel like they could be related, or if you want to put them on 1 point, I think you need to clarify, clarify that this thing is for like this query time is for the availability aspect. You fixed the query time by making it available. That okay, I believe that makes complete sense. The rest is just like, oh, by the way, I have 1 million data points in Postgres. That's not relevant for the first point, for the first half of the point. Okay, project experience. So this is what this. Okay, so project experience, developing cranial surgical simulation, blah blah blah, reduce. Okay, that makes sense. Pretty cool. I think that's pretty cool. Automated attendance tracking, facial recognition algorithm, automated attendance, Flash. Using Flash, you mean Adobe Flash? I hope that's not Adobe Flash. I think Adobe Flash is deprecated, is it not? But yeah, I mean the idea is fine. It's a bit light on implementation details, but for a project 2 lines, I think this is totally fine. Teammates, open source, Java, TypeScript, REST. Okay, increased test coverage 30%. Yeah, so this point is just about making tests, right? This is definitely a weaker project compared to the other two. So I would personally axe this project and put more points on these two. Okay, volunteer, head starter, there's blah blah. Yeah, this is pretty cool volunteering. I don't know how to pronounce that. Sorry. Yeah, this is also cool. I think this is actually quite valuable to put on a resume. I think that's actually perfectly fine. So I think this is a pretty good use of space. This one here personally sounds like automated unit test. That's honestly not that impressive of a project compared to these two, so I would get rid of that. And then if you don't have these, do you have these guys listed? I'm assuming you do. Java. Okay. So yeah, so I think you can get rid of this project entirely. Also, one thing I wanted to say earlier is quantifying experience in years. I personally wouldn't do that, because people typically only count years of experience for employment. And the reason is simply because when you're on the job, you actually have a stake in learning the language and actually using it properly. In projects, it's very hard. It's impossible, basically, to quantify the quality of, the quality at which you use the language at. So if you want to put years here, which I don't encourage, but if you want to put years here, I would only count years as part of your experience. Yeah, so definitely some stuff to work on there, but I think the experience you previously had that just might not be communicated very effectively, I think it's still there. So, still there. Okay, what's this guy? Oh, I think he had a comment in chat actually. Hold on. Would it be better to have some points be 2 lines to include more details? Yeah, definitely. So if you feel like I'm personally an advocate of not putting all the aspects of the job you've done, but instead picking 1 or 2 key things that you're really proud of, or 1 or 2 things that you feel like are really unique about what you've done there, and talking about that. Right? Like you don't need to say for every job that you wrote unit test. We can assume that we don't really care about that. That's not a skill, okay? So if it's a case that one job you feel like you did a really good job automating a unit test and you did all this stuff, right? Okay, for that job, put a point or two about how you did all that work. And if your other jobs, don't mention it at all. So I would say, yeah, you can definitely make some points into 2 points if you feel like there's details that you had to skip. Okay, this guy is not didn't redact. So yeah, that guy didn't redact either. And maybe moving next guy. This guy, yep, looks fine. Is my form broken? Where's my, okay, the question. Redact your personal information or I will not review it. I don't understand how that could be more clear. Maybe I'll make a new question. I confirm I have redacted all my personal information. Option 1. Yes, I have. Required. Okay, now there should be no way people miss it. Because unlike what people think, it's not like I'm trying to get out of reviewing resumes. It's just that I just cannot review resumes with your name on it. Okay, that's all it is. It's not a ploy. All right, this guy's comment is trying to get internship software engineer front end dev next summer after my first year. Okay, so your first year right now. Next summer you'll be after your first year. Okay, cool, makes sense. Let's take a look. So this is okay. So this is a recent project. Work experience. You were previous. This is last year, about a year ago. Okay, let's have a look. So this is software engineer or front end dev. I mean, front end devs are software engineers typically, so not sure why you're making that distinction, but anyways. McMaster, Bachelor, Applied Science. You can put this on 1 line. You can put this on 1 line over here. It's fine otherwise. Okay. Education Council, iOS app developer. Go pick from collaborative team to brainstorm app features, structure, contribute to clear product roadmap, deliver a successful pitch to industry mentors, stream positive feedback, design and functionality, design responsive user interface, ensuring intuitive navigation, enhancing user experience. Okay, I think this is, it's a good start. One thing I will say right away is that this is I know Swift is, for iOS, like your stuff is all in Swift. I feel like, okay, so the first thing is I feel like the first point's a pretty good summary, but I feel like you can definitely combine the first point into the fourth point into the first point. Right? Like, yeah, so I feel like these two can definitely be combined. Or if you want to combine it, you could also, for example, where is this? No, sorry, that's the only one. So I would consider combining points 1 and 4, but even as is, I think it's fine. It's just a bit light on details. That's all. But again, for a first year, that's kind of what you would expect. So I don't think people give you a hard time on that one. But if you wanted to improve it, that's where I would improve it. Okay, so we have some products here. By the way, these products are all in caps. I would say, generally speaking, you should not use all caps for titles. For section headers, that's fine. You can do that. For things that aren't always proper nouns, I wouldn't do that. Okay, resume analyzer tool parses. So again, you can be a bit descriptive here. So for example, front end tool, back end tool, CLI tool, web app. So just something to keep in mind. Parses resumes PDF format, extracting and analyzing text against job descriptions, implementing keyword extraction, displays matching and missing keywords, provides a fit score visualized with the circular progress indicator. Yeah, that makes sense to me. This is already done, right? So you're not working anymore. This is the kind of question. This is the kind of resume project that you should be prepared to answer questions on in behavioral. Just for your information. Here saying patient recording system. So again, right, so this is an issue if you have everything be all caps. If you have all caps, I mean, I can obviously tell from context that this is the name and this is like what it is. but you can make that more intuitively obvious by making this not all caps, or making it into, italicized, smaller font, using a divider like you did over here, etc. So, could use some visual polish. JavaFX, intuitive. So intuitive is not really quantified here. So, we wanna know what you've done to make it intuitive. Otherwise, you can get rid of that adjective. So gender specific prompts, accurate data collection. Yeah, that makes sense. File creation, organization, yeah, that makes sense too. Medtrack, streamline health. Okay, to Kinter. Ensure functionality for adding, removing medications. Okay, great. I know what's going on here. Okay, let's look at these skills. Certifications. Oh, CPR first aid. That's kind of fun. Why not? This one is. I don't think that one's needed. This one, Cisco IT, I can see being needed if you want to go for IT roles. For software, I don't think that would be really valued. But because it's only taking one line, you can just keep it. It's fine. This one I'd say is a bit more of a show don't tell, but it's a bit, you can keep it on. Okay, general resume advice. This is not resume advice now. This is like actual advice. It's lacking depth. So you have 5 projects here, but none of them are in depth, right? They're all surface level projects that do a thing, and they do it, in a limited manner. But there's not much. I'll give you an example, right? So for example, you take the first one, Resume Analyzer. This is presumably a website, right? A website. You upload something, and it's not really clear how it analyzes the job description, but okay, great. You can analyze the text in the job description. It gives you a match, right? I think this is a good start for a project, right? Some other things that you want to do to be able to expand this, to give yourself some more resume talking space. For example, right? Let's make it a full stack app, right? So let's have, let's, for example, allow users to log in so that we can save the resumes. We can have users submit various job applications, submit various resumes. You can compare which resume would have the highest fit score, right? We can have we can have session authentication. We can integrate a database into this, right? That would give you opportunity to integrate a database, and that would make this a true full stack app, right? And one of those would be worth a lot more than multiple apps that just do the same surface level stuff. Because, these are different, like this one's Python, this one's Swift, this one's Python again, right? So it's slightly different tooling, but generally that knowing a wide variety of tooling is not really what separates people if they don't actually use the tooling in depth. So I would say that would be the next step for actually improving the resume, like content on the resume, not just the format or the wording. So that's something for you to consider for sure. Okay, moving on. Okay, this one looks good. All right. Any comments? Also, even if they are able to keep the end date for the second project, I think they meant December 2024, not 2025. Yeah, they might have. They might have. I don't know what they have. Honestly though, this is a thing that if that is the case, I don't know if that's the case, but it's the case. Right, you guys can't be getting dates wrong on your resume. Okay, like that's just really not it. I mean, if it's like a small thing like a project end date, yeah, no one really cares. But if you get, for example, your graduation date wrong or like a work experience date wrong, that would have like larger consequences. So, like it's same thing with like name, email, contact, dates, right? Titles, company names. Like you can't be getting those wrong. Like you have to get those proofread by someone else if you don't want to do it yourself. Okay, what's the comment here? The comment here is summer 2025 internship. Great. Guys, you guys got to put more details here. I don't know what that means. Okay, UBC 2026, BSc, Trex Scholar. Okay. Why is this underlined? It looks kind of weird underlined. Anyways. Okay. Experience RA, Demonware, TA, projects, Mahjong websites. Okay. All right. So you're what? This is your third year. Present. This is also present. Wait, why is this one first? Oh, did you do reverse order? You did. Okay. Wait, what? What order? Wait, what order is this? Okay, it's generally speaking, most recent at the top, right? Most recent at the top. Unless you have a very specific reason to not do that, most recent at the top. Okay. Expo test unit. test extractor for export test analysis. Let me suppose the task corners. Okay, count team members collection. Submit as demonstration paper. Oh, submit. Okay, okay. Is this supposed to be like a proper noun? I don't really know if that's supposed to be proper, but that's fine. Okay, that makes sense to me. Yeah, this makes sense. Okay, software engineering intern. Demonware. Okay, wait, hold on a second. This is from 2018 to present? Are you working part-time? Or you've been full-time since there for... God damn, that's 6 years now. This one needs a bit of clarification what's going on here. But, you know, let me have a look. Developed on and maintained 8 Docker backend platform in the regions. Develop and maintain, developed on. I think you just mean develop. Develop and maintain 8 Docker backend. Okay, that's fine. Oh wait, hold on a second. Do you actually, if you actually mean developed the software that runs on Docker, then the Docker part doesn't matter at all, right? If you actually made the Docker containers and instances and the configuration, then you would not use the word on. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Okay, design and implemented a simulator script in Python. Decreasing process verification time by 70%. This one needs clarification. Like, why do we need to simulate something to verify, to decreasing process verification time by 70%? Yeah, this one needs a bit of clarification why we need a script for this. This one's a bit unjustified, but this one's still, I mean, the outcome still makes sense, so that's fine, I guess. Spearhead development, spearhead integration of friend service, the integration of friends service-based block list. Why does service-based matter? Well, if you get rid of that, right? Integration of friends block list to party service. Color would have 50% with Lua. I think the Lua part can be deleted. I don't think that matters at all. Sure. Okay. I can see why integrating it would cut loading time. Okay. Sure. Okay. Integrated 10 plus fields. Ensure data smooth. Okay. Kibana. Sure. Intern. Assume the role intern buddy. We rule onboarding documents. Oh, okay. Okay. This is a bit weak because this is sort of implied. But I'll give you my impression. This output. Okay. And this is the honest impression. Okay. Like, I don't know what points you had to omit or what you didn't put on. But this amount of output for 6 years of work is frankly not it. So I would figure out, if you have more points, right? If you have more points, you should figure out how you can combine them to condense them into more detailed and impactful points. Because look, okay, this doesn't take any capacity. Let's just be honest, okay? 10 fields and telemetry logs. You integrated one thing, right? This one I don't know what it is, right? But this one you didn't talk about the complexity or the considerations at all. You just said you did this. With the Lua part doesn't matter, right? So you did this thing and it has an outcome. That's good, right? This is the only thing I can see that that has complexity. But again, you're missing the critical thing of developed what on these Docker containers. If you just mean you made the Docker containers, that if you just said you made the Docker containers, that doesn't really matter how many users there are, because that's not what you handle. That's what Docker handles. So data point here is a bit of a mismatch. So I mean, I have to say, right? I think you just have to figure out what you want to show for the 6 years of experience you have. Okay, let's take a look. So this is TA. This is current. Oh, you have a comment. Yeah, but it was an 8-month internship from January 2023 to August 20. Okay, so that's just not what's here, right? So you got to fix that. If it's 8 months, that's more believable. That's fine then. Okay, TA. Blah blah. Okay, 3 points here. Okay, 3 points here. Okay. So I would say the first point is fine. You have to do that. That's fine. These 2 points, either combine them or get rid of them. This has no information in them. Okay, projects, TypeScript, okay. feed. Okay, migrate a database. Advanced statistics page. Okay, yeah. So this project seems pretty good, but the points don't really flow. So first of all, is this okay? This is good, right? This is just not the same. This just isn't even the same dimension of important. If you want to, for example, talk about technologies used for hosting, you can make a point about hosting, and then talk about Docker, AWS, Cloudflare. Talk about your. I'm assuming your Mongo. I'm assuming your MySQL is on AWS. Or you can talk about that in one point. ELO calculation algorithm, like how does that have anything to do with your MySQL database? That has nothing to do with it. If you have something that's really cool about it, you can talk about it. But like this just doesn't need to be a point. Like this is literally one equation off Wikipedia, or you can use the library for that. I don't think this is that. Like this doesn't add anything to the point. If you want to put statistics, for example, you can put that over here and talk about the features you have on the statistics on the stats page. Like you have a win-loss record, you have a replay of the game, you have, I don't know if you can have a replay from match. I don't really know how that game works. You can put the elo gain, elo loss per game, right? So if you want to talk about that in that context, you can put it in. But putting the elo point with MySQL makes no sense to me. Blah blah blah. That makes sense. Okay, great. This stuff, what's going on here? Blah blah blah. That's all fine. Okay, great. So definitely just clean this up, right? The dates being wrong is not really excusable on resumes, frankly. So you can clean it up, and some other feedback you can go. Some cleanup to be done. Otherwise it's on the right track. I think there's some pretty good experience there. Okay, so where was I? Wait, who are you? You were. Was it this one I just downloaded? Yes. Okay, this one. 2 pages. Is it redacted though? Okay, it is redacted. All right, then I can look at it. Yeah, okay, this is redacted. Okay. Great. Let me make it a bit bigger. Okay, so the comment here is, I apply for industry jobs entry after being in academia. Oh, that's always a tough one, right? Leaving academia, going to industry? Okay. Let's have a look here. So first of all, it's 2 pages. If you're going for academia, we could probably cut a lot of stuff out of here. Now, you didn't say what industry you want to go into. You just said industry in general, right? So, well, I guess I can force you to answer with a better question. So, maybe I'll change that in the form for next time. No, also it's 3 p.m. So I'm gonna stop accepting new resumes. Let me say, column 1. What does column 1 mean? Okay, whatever. End. And I'm gonna stop us. I'm gonna unpin that. Okay, there we go. Yeah. So again, since it's 3 p.m. now, I'm gonna speed through the rest because, well, I can't be here all day. Where are we again? We're over here. Okay, great. Oh my god, there's like so many more. Okay. First things first, if you're going for industry, let me take a look at how much experience you have. You have Institute of Artificial Intelligence in Iran. Okay, so that looks like that's like experience. This is 2019. This is 2018. What is this? Scikit-learn train recommendation system. Okay. In other words, this is in university, I assume. Okay, so in university, I assume. Okay. Okay. Okay, so yeah, so this could definitely be in 1 page, and the reason being in 1 page is important. Okay, and this is especially the case for North America and European resumes, is that no one cares. That the brutal truth is that no one cares about writing all this and that. In academia, they do care, right? But in academia, you have a CV, right? You have a CV, and on your CV, you actually put all the details for all the papers, all the research, all that, right? Resume over here, they don't care about that. They just want to know your recent experience. And for students, if you don't have experience, you want to look at your projects, right? But if you have experience, you want to look at your recent experience, see what's going on there. So for most of the stuff here, it's not going to be too relevant. So let me just give you a guideline of, like, for example, what you can cut. So like we're low on time, so I gotta get through people, right? So what you can cut. first things first is this thing can be one page, can be one line, right? One line. Don't need to talk about agile. Everyone does agile. That's trivial. Don't talk about that. So this can be one line. This can be two lines. This, for example, does not matter, right? I mean, it matters for the job, but it doesn't matter for proving yourself for a software engineer role. So this one does not matter, right? So this is two lines. You can put this over here. Researcher developer. Oh, okay, never mind. Sorry. If you want to talk about writing peer-reviewed papers, this could be okay. Otherwise, it doesn't matter if you have peer-reviewed papers in the industry. You can get rid of that. This one is fine as is. I guess you could put TA as a work experience. I guess it is. Yeah, it is paid, so that's fine. Projects wise, like this is, I don't know what's going on here, but I'm not sure if you meant for this, because like this is indented, right? Like I don't know if you meant for this to be indented. I don't think you meant that to be indented. So the formatting here is a bit off, right? The formatting's off. Let me take a look. This project is fine. This project is a bit weak. This project is fine. This one I think is actually okay. It's more backend heavy, but it actually has some content on it. This one I would say you have a lot of ML stuff, right? And if you're not going for ML roles, if you're going for general industry software like non-ML or just in general, having this much ML is gonna harm. It's not gonna harm you, but you're sacrificing space to talk about ML when that's not a skill they're looking for, right? Elaborating on something like this is much more useful for getting through the resume screens. Yeah, that's a lot of stuff. Yeah, you have a lot of experience here. That's fine. This you can keep. I would personally condense it. So your most recent experience, your PhD, right? You can keep this, and then for these two, what I would do is I would just put your GPA over here, 4.0, and get rid of everything underneath. Right. So I would get it. So I would condense all of these two both into like two lines, and then you can keep this one as is. And the main reason you want to save space, first of all, is of course, the resume parsers, they don't care, but the humans care, because the humans got to read this at the end of the day and make a decision. So they do care, and you gotta make sure that they see your most relevant stuff first. This one doesn't look too relevant for software, frankly. This one looks like it could be more useful, but it's also very ML AI focused, right? Or is this AI? No, this is just well, I guess this is some form of AI with PyTorch. Yeah, so I think you basically have to pick and choose, right? Like some stuff here has to get cut, and you can always, of course, what you can always do, right, is you can always keep two versions of your resume. You can keep one version that's one page, one version that's 2 pages. You can send them both out and see which ones get you the better return. But I'd say most of the time you do want to only have one page, because when when someone does review it, you have to be able to communicate the important stuff first. Didn't redact. You know, it's actually great if you guys don't redact it, because I don't have to review it. First name, last name. Okay, that's redacted. You're welcome. You're very welcome. Okay, great. So what's the note with this guy? This guy's note is wrong guy. This guy's note is looking for new grad, full stack back end front end. That's just full stack back end front end. Okay, good. Okay, fine. Oh, cert link. Oh, I kind of like that. I think a link is fine. 3.8, blah, blah, blah. That's fine. How much space do you have? Oh, a bit tight. Okay. Big size company, Vancouver, BC, GCP monitor, hours product. Okay. Wait, what? Automated GCP monitoring with Terraform. Is Terraform not for deploying? How does Terraform monitor GCP? I'm a bit confused about that one, so you might want to elaborate on what you're actually deploying onto GCP to monitor it. Or maybe if Terraform has built-in monitoring somehow that I don't know about, that's fine. Then you can leave it as is. I just must not know about it. Optimize schema, reducing latency, reducing redundancy, boosting response time by 10%. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Working on-prem to the cloud-based Java REST service. Yeah. So one thing here is that over here you say a language, and over here you don't say a language. So I would just get rid of the Java in the other side too. Okay, sure. In this case, you can combine these two together. If you want to save space, you can combine these two together. Okay, let me just speed through the rest. It's fine. Byte-wise, that's fine. Doesn't matter. Okay, so generally speaking, I think the organization here is fine. Okay, you can see work data iCal, blah blah. An app. Do you mean like a web app? I would say web app if it is. I mean, it obviously is web app. I would say web app specifically. Cool. Okay, so one thing here is okay. You know, hold on. Let me take a look. Okay, that's fine. Okay, that's fine. If you want to see here, you have GitHub's at the top. I would just put GitHub at the top here too. It's fine. This is fine. Okay, so what I was gonna say was, okay, we're going for what? Backend engineers. Okay, backend engineering roles. I would personally say, you should cut a point from here or here, and talk about technical details on either this one or this one. I think there's a lot more to be said about either these projects than either of these two. Like these two, I know it's obviously leadership, right? Leadership is important, but putting more points under leadership doesn't really help communicate your point, as well as putting points underneath technical projects to communicate the technical aspect. So I would say your space is better off using it over here. This is fine, yeah. Okay, moving on. This is fine. And your comment is, I'm a second year student, want to aim for internship 2025 summer. I want to know how I can improve. What are the chances compared to my competition who are already in third year? Thanks. Okay. So you're aiming for what internship? Just any. You didn't say what kind. It's just any. Okay. This is fine. It's fine. Second year. Okay. Thanks for being explicit. This stuff, I would say, you're a bit low on space, right? So I would say you can get rid of this relevant coursework. That's not too relevant. Relevant coursework, by the way, is only relevant if you have no project or experience to demonstrate that. Right? Like, for example, if you use a database in a project, I don't know if you have, but we can take a look, right? That's going to be worth a lot more than just saying you took a database course, right? Like taking a database course means very little towards your skill of using a database, right? Now, if you want to put this over here, what I would do is I will put them under one line, comma separate, and put them all here. That way it's at least easier to parse. Okay, so just do that instead. All right, experience, this is recent, this is present. Generally speaking, I will put the present stuff first, but because your top one is more relevant, I think it's okay to leave it as is. Okay, for another thing that I see right away is there's too much bolding. There's too much bolding. Every other word is bolded, which means that nothing is bolded. So you should have at most, in this entire resume, you should have at most 10 bolded words. That's your guideline, okay? Okay, this is very ML focused, which is obviously fine. That's your ML role. That's fine. Yeah, so this is something which okay, so I can tell right away. You should definitely be expanding more about this. Right now, I know it's current, right? And you have some more time before summer. But I have to say that, like, if you could expand this one out to talk more about the full stack. Talk about the authentication. Talk about the dashboards. What's a database here, right? You don't have a database here, I don't think. Oh, you have Postgres. Did you say Postgres? Okay, so you didn't say Postgres. Talk about what kind of considerations are made for the schema, right? This could be a pretty nice full stack project. Instagram AI news. Okay, don't. Okay, these are all ML focused. So you didn't say if you're going for ML or general software internships, right? So you didn't say that. If you're going, this is obviously a very ML heavy resume. The fact of the matter is that ML internships are more difficult to come by than general software engineering is. And yes, like you said, you will be competing against more senior people, both in school and of course, don't forget that generally speaking, when companies are looking to hire for AI ML candidates that they want to get them back full time, there's AI ML is one of the few kind of software disciplines where they actually have a bias towards masters and PhD students, right? So that's going to be an uphill battle you want to fight. Now, if you want to go for regular software, your resume currently is too focused on the AI side, right? So I would make a separate version. I would make two versions of your resume. One version for AI ML, right? And another version for just general software, where you can still talk about AI and ML stuff, right? You can still talk about it, use the same projects, but you gotta have more points that are about the actual software engineering piece, right? A lot of these people, a lot of the slightly technical people who know the background, they know some like theory about ML, like myself for example. I don't build ML stuff, but I know the theory behind it. I've taken some courses, etc. I've done some projects. Stuff like accuracy numbers, you know, that building data pipelines, those don't translate to software engineering skills, right? Like that is a specific skill for AI and ML, right? Someone who's very good at getting high accuracy or getting very, very nice, models or whatnot in AI doesn't necessarily mean that they're good at software engineering, which is a skill that you're actually being hired for, right? So that's why I think if you want it, you can commit to AI and ML, but also make a different resume for general software, and talk about a lot more regular software stuff there. Because right now the only thing in your entire resume that is about not AI stuff is you have this project here, right? Which is AI themed, but is currently a lot more general software. And I think you have this thing over here, right? We have you have some stuff that's not really ML specific. So that's kind of the biggest shortcoming I would say is I don't know how much actual software is being done in these projects because so much of it is just import scikit-learn, import SciPy. I don't know if you have SciPy here, it's just doing ML specific stuff. So that's the first thing I would change if I were you for general software, because like frankly, if you want to be competitive, it's gonna be very competitive for AI ML roles for summer 2025, right? Summer 2025 is also when Canada and US both line up in terms of school semesters. So that means you'll have a lot more competition from the US as well when they're on summer vacation. Well, I'll say vacation. What I mean by it is that they don't have school. A lot of them take school off so they can do internships. Okay, this one is fine. Okay, let's take a look. Comment. Looking for wrong one? No, right one. Looking for 2025 summer, want to target big tech. Okay, great. Let's take a look. Why is my Discord popping off? Let me have a quick look. Okay, yeah. Okay, so first things first, I don't know how you're formatting this thing exactly, but I would recommend a more normal formatting so those things can get parsed a bit more consistently. That's a small nit. I don't think it really matters, but just a detail. Okay, so this is 2026, so you're basically graduated now. Not really. You're third year, right? Third year. What kind of software are you going for? Just big tech? Just big tech. Okay, if you're going for just big tech, that's not relevant. That's not relevant. This is not relevant. This is not relevant. These aren't relevant. CKA is not bad. CKA is one of the few certs that actually kind of matter, but usually CKA is sponsored by a company, and if it's sponsored by a company, you should put it underneath the company name, because then it has a lot more weight. Okay. This is current. This is recent. This is last year. This is a long time ago. Dates if you can. Split that up. Blah blah. Blah. So this is fine. Okay. It's fine. Oh, whoops. Canada, like Spring Boot, REST Canada, CI/CD pipelines. This is like DevOps stuff. This is like a lot of DevOps. Keep that in mind. That looks very DevOps centric. What is this? Okay. Sure. Okay. So, big tech wise, where's your front end experience? This is back end. This Discord bot. That's a back end. This is React. That is a bit of front end, but it doesn't look like much front end. What is this? Torrenting client. That's also back end. Okay, so first things first is this. If the job posting is asking for front end, this resume probably will not pass. Okay. There needs to be ideally experience, like paid experience for front end development. But if there isn't, then we want to see a front end product that's a lot more leaning into the front end aspect of it. So this would be tough sell for a lot of front end and full stack roles. So that's the first thing you would have to change. Okay, this guy. Yep, looks fine. All right. So this guy's comment is get entry web dev role. Okay. So this guy industry already? Oh, this guy's graduated. Okay. So okay, sure. Okay. So let's look at this. So software engineer, some keywords here. Keywords here I would put under over here. So for example, you shouldn't be like don't say cloud computing, just say AWS. That's going to be enough. Because you're using a lot of space for this and a lot of space for this. But you have space to spare, so that's not the end of the world. You can keep it until you run out of space. Okay, technical skills. Ruby on Rails, Hotwire, Turbo, Node.js, Respect, Fly. That's a bit iffy. OOP is kind of useless to say if you already put in JS Python. I guess you don't need object oriented in Python, but okay. System design, better. This is one thing that show don't tell. Let's take a look. Freelance web developer. You're going for front end, right? Front end, yeah. Entry web. Okay. Improve load speed of 24% through performance optimization. So yeah, you had to say what, right? You have to say what techniques. And generally speaking, if you've been working here for a little while now, right? Almost a year, almost, right? Stuff like improve load speed by 25%, right? Okay, that's good. Talk about how, and I would also talk about how it's measured, right? So load speed, first time to paint, first time to interaction, right? What kind of do we count resource loading, right? So there's a lot of detail here they can put in that would add a lot more weight to this point. Okay, restart web pages, blah blah blah. Change consistent experience desktop. Okay, this is fine. I would say again, right? Like, did you have any CSS technology? No. So I don't know if this is, for example, no Tailwind or something. If it's just raw HTML CSS, that would be okay. That does make sense. That does make sense. It's a bit of a weaker point. This is basically saying you did HTML, JavaScript, CSS. The for example, the mobile optimization part you can talk a bit about specifically. Consistent experience makes sense, but that's something which is sort of expected. So you should talk a little bit about how you kind of bridge that gap. Otherwise, this is sort of a mediocre point. Okay, RESTful APIs, dynamic features, enhancing user experience. So the enhancing user experience, that makes sense. That's kind of a given. I would say what kind of APIs, what kind of features were you making? What front end considerations were made because of this integration? Otherwise, it's stated kind of matter of factly, and there's not really much. There's really nothing to kind of talk about in that sense. Automated deployment process, file document. This makes sense. That's fine. Bulma CSS. That sounds familiar. I don't know what that is though. Webpack. Okay. Okay. So I don't know. This seems to be your personal website. If you're going for front end roles, one thing that people will be looking at is your website, like front end specific, right? If you're going for entry level stuff. So this is gonna be a case where you gotta make sure your front end, like your own personal website, is also looking good, to demonstrate that you have that skill. And one thing I will say here is that, in the front end landscape, because it's lower barrier to entry, people want to hire folks that just have more knowledge about different technologies, like off the bat. And so if you have the ability to pick up stuff like, for example, Tailwind, do you have React? You have React. Pick up Vue, pick up Angular. That would like, just putting points here does help, because a lot of these front end contractors, they're not willing to bring you up to speed. They want someone who's already up to speed. So for these kind of roles, the keywords really matter, and having the skills, even if it's just entry level skills, that would help a lot. Okay. This has a comment. Graduating university this semester, looking for entry level jobs, machine learning engineer or software dev. Okay. Blah blah blah. This is fine. Those are relatively okay. This is a year ago now. This is a year before that. So this is not very. Oh, this is a whole year of experience. Okay. Using machine learning. No, no, no. Using what machine learning? Using scikit-learn. Well, it wouldn't be scikit-learn. It would be SciPy, wouldn't it? Like, be specific here. What technology are you using? Are we using forests? Are we using, you know, Bayesian nets? Like, what stuff are we doing here? Right. This is very, very vague. So this has people will, if they read this as their first point, they will doubt your ability in actually using ML at all, because like this is devoid of any detail. Reduce over 100,000 data records, a few hundred actionable cases by creating automated SQL queries, automated workflows. That makes sense. That's fine. Okay. So this is all DevOps, right? This is all DevOps. Okay, that's cool. CompTIA network. I would just put this under here. Projects. Oh, this is a Harvard project. Okay, nice. That makes sense. Climate lens. Yeah. Okay. Sure. This is front end, right? Interactive visualizations. I would elaborate a bit on that. So if you're going for full stack or anything including front end, these could be good to put in. So what kind of accessibility framework? What CAG 2.0, for example? Interactive visualizations. I don't know. Like, I just probably didn't use D3, right? But okay, that's fine. But like talk a little bit about what this actually means, because there's a very wide gamut of just quote interactive visualizations, right? MVC in Java, like using JavaFX or something. I will put in JavaFX if you actually meant JavaFX here. Okay, integrated SQLite efficient stuff like this, for example, is kind of pointless to put on a resume. All Java code is object-oriented programming, so this is kind of, just a waste of space. Okay. The first experience makes sense. This one is good too, but it's all DevOps. If you're not going for DevOps, you're going for, was it general, software dev, you're missing a full stack project. There's currently no indication that you have like the full stack skills needed to kind of succeed in that kind of role. I would say if you're going for ML/software, make an ML resume, make a software resume, and on the software resume, put an actual full stack project. Okay, this guy. Okay, looks redacted. This guy's notes. This guy's entire note is Concordia University. That's not what I meant by, what's the question? The question is, explain what are you trying to accomplish with this resume. I don't think Concordia University is an answer to that question. Okay, general review then. Okay. Experience. Present. TA. Oh, you're currently pursuing your master's 2025. Okay. Yeah, so again, improving by some percent means that there was a previous comparison point. What was the previous comparison point? When it was not on Flutter, or when the entire thing didn't exist, in which case, how can you have any engagement, right? When I read the first point, I already know that this is going to be a bit of a word soup. That's fine. Check your experience. See, this one makes sense because you're saying it's 50% increase compared to when it was not a user-friendly checkout experience because you made it user-friendly. Right? This one makes sense. Like there's an implicit point of a comparison. UI flows, but there's very devoid of technical stuff. It's very devoid of like how. It's very devoid of the how. Right? There's no how here. No, I think that's a general theme. What is this? Data science, phishing, accuracy, data injection, and automation pipelines. Right, phishing action, refined. You can quantify refined. Right. So this is missing a how. Okay, stock market doesn't matter. Okay, this is all normal. What's over here? A lot of stuff. Okay, where's React? Just React Native. Okay, that's good. Jenkins UI UX. Advanced technologies. Don't put these as advanced. Just put other or technologies. These are not advanced. You can get rid of that. Okay, so I would say the main thing here is a lot of the points are, they make sense if you just kind of don't look too closely, but it's missing some, English. It's missing some reasoning, right? And some of the points here can be quantified a bit better, and other points here are missing the how. Okay. This guy, yep, looks fine. All right, this guy's comment is, I'm a second year student exploring fields like front end, back end, full stack, Gen AI, but haven't found my fit yet, struggling to land internships or even get OAs. I'm looking for advice on how to improve. Okay. One thing I will say though, that this is mostly my fault, is that I should ask for more details, because for example, right, you didn't get OAs, right, but how many did you apply to? If you're second, this is you're second year, right? If you're second year and you didn't get OAs after applying to 50 companies, that's kind of expected almost, right? Especially in the end of the year season where budgets are tighter, that's kind of expected. If you said you applied to 500 postings and you haven't gotten a single OA, okay, then there's a problem, right? Then there's a problem. But without that context, I don't know which one it is. Anyways, let's have a look. Okay. Okay, what is this? Bonus Chain Olympia, done person in India 2023. That's pretty good. That's pretty cool. I like that. So you have experience over here, and then you have projects, hackathons, technical skills. The first thing I see immediately is that there's a lot of stuff but no detail. That's the first thing I can tell. Okay, and also one thing I will say is a bit of a nit, is that if you're gonna right align something or right justify something, make it the furthest right possible, and don't let something like these sentences peek out from the right. So like otherwise it just looks unbalanced, right? Otherwise it looks like this being outside of it just looks a bit weird. Oh, sorry, I missed the other chat. I want to apply for software developer roles in 25 summer. Yeah, the advice I give still applies. Like, yeah, I don't think there's anything like revelationary there. That's my resume. UVic, applied to 50 companies. 50 companies, second year, depends on which 50, but it's believable, right? That's something that's going to happen, that you apply to 50, you don't get OAs. In a typical season, now that you're in UVic, right, you're going to be looking for more than 50 applications per application season. I'll put it that way. How many it is, that's up to you, but it's going to be more than 50. Okay. From the hybrid team, sensor system, you can see some of my Affinity data control. Okay, that makes sense. Vike Labs. They'll maintain official website, Vike Labs. Student run software development club will contribute to other initiative projects. Yeah, so, right, this is a thing which is like, okay, cool, but there's no information in this, right? Like, what does it mean to develop and maintain? So some details that you need to put here are, for example, what technologies are being used, what it means to maintain, how many visitors, right? How are you handling feedback and features, right? Who are you working with? Like, are you collaborating with other people from other departments? Are there other things you're hosting, etc. And of course, at the bare minimum, right, technologies. So right now, for example, yeah, this is okay, but I can't evaluate this point because it has no information. Okay, software development engineer, remote development, Next.js, Tailwind, front end for interacting with a custom LM and design. This is 2 points. Develop the workflow to generate developer environments using Python, Docker, NixOS. Okay. Yeah, again, right. So there's a lot of points here, but they're not very focused. I would say parse this down, pick a couple pieces of experience that you feel like you have a lot more information on, and write 3 to 4 points on each one of those. That way you can actually get a bit more detail and indicate that you have some depth of knowledge, right? Otherwise, right now, like, everything here is like just standard stuff. I don't see anything that's really outstanding, right? There's nothing that's unique about this, and there's nothing that's really special, right? Like, you made a front end. This is like Next.js and Tailwind CSS. That's like the most standard stuff, right? Okay, it interacts with a custom LLM. Did he make this LLM? If he did, that's something you could talk about, right? If he didn't make it, then you should get rid of this entire thing in the first place. It doesn't matter what it interacts with if you didn't make it, because what it's interacting with here doesn't change the requirements of your front end, right? So it doesn't actually contribute to your point there. And I would still split this into 2 points because these 2 points are completely unrelated. So I'm not gonna read everything here, but it seems like that's gonna be a theme, right? Right. Okay. It's like optimize ray tracing techniques. Like how? Like what optimizations? Right. This is a clear example. Of like all you said is like what you've done. There's not very much at all, if anything, about how you did it. So this is the first thing I would have to recommend as a glaring omission in the resume. Okay, we're near the end. This one is not redacted. Is this one redacted? This one is, and it's also 2 pages. Wait, is it redacted? Let me just check. This one is not redacted. This a GitHub link is not redacted. This one is. Nice. Okay, this guy's note is having trouble getting interviews and maybe even always with his resume. Any feedback would be appreciated. Okay. Didn't say for what roles though. If you don't say what role, I'm assuming it's full stack software engineer. Okay, bachelor of computer minor economics, fine. Projects, relevant experience, code ninjas. Okay, yeah, that's something. Nice. Oh, nice. Double lowercase. That's rare. Okay. Senior doctor. Okay, create a full stack app to track and analyze key economic indicators with the goal of educating consumers about economics. Good first point. Then view front end Chart.js visualizations, handling 200 plus data ton. Okay. Dynamic front end with Chart.js visualizations. That makes sense. Yeah. Okay. I would. It depends on what you did, but you could be a bit more specific and say, specifically for, for inflation, for growth, for whatever things, right? It could add a bit of color to the point, but I think it's still fine as is. Django backend, user authentication, forecasting, REST API integration. It's a bit vague about what you're integrating with. If you're just saying if it's just your front end, okay, yeah, I guess that's still REST API, but I thought this might be like an external API, like an external endpoint you pull data from, like StatScan or something. I don't know. TensorFlow STM for analysis achieving or less than 0.05. Root mean square of 0.05 is pretty good, right? But again, I don't really understand. I don't really know, for example, if this data set is just very high R squared, so your data is going to be low, your error is going to be low. But I think this okay, yeah, bit of machine learning, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. Ensure secure authentication, email verification, Twilio API, data integrity. You had a point about user authentication, did you not? Yeah, so I will put this point over here or combine them. Deploys in Docker, AWS, CloudFront enhanced performance, reduce cost. Okay, this is actually a pretty good project. I think you can definitely talk a little bit about the performance aspect or the cost. Performance and cost are pretty big topics for cloud computing or cloud-based hosting. So I think you could definitely expand on this one. Expand on this one and talk a little bit more about about what you've done to optimize performance, what it was before, how much did it cost before, how much it reduced by, etc. I think this could be actually a very strong data point. This is cool too. I mean, because this is such a full stack app, I think this is good. I think this is totally fine to put here. But if you have other points that are about testing, I would be wary about duplicating that one. Let me just quickly scan this. Try data structure. That's nice. That's fine. Okay, so this is again, you're going for what? You're going for. I'm assuming it's full stack web app. Okay, so this one is definitely. So this one is. So the way I see this, right, is that this is just this point again, but with no extra software merit. right? It has more machine learning, I'm sure. I don't care about that though, right? So if you want to go for machine learning, make a resume for that. If you want to go for software full stack, make a resume for that. And on the software full stack one, I would not put 4 points here. I would only put the points that are relevant towards developer. So for example, the first one. The first one is the only one here that's relevant for software developer. And so, that's kind of the priority sequence we're looking at, right? Is if you're going for a software role, these points here, frankly, add no value. So just keep that in mind. Especially if you already have a point here that's already talking about some it's already alluding to a bit of machine learning. Where like it's fine for a software resume to talk a bit about machine learning, but in a project where you have 4 points, you can't have 3 of them all be that. It's too redundant. It's simply too redundant. Can I please review your resume? I'll put yes. I saw your resume. It's not redacted. You have to remove your name from it, right? If you have your name on it, you can strike the video down later and say that I'm doxing you. So I can't review resumes that have identifying information on it. So for you, yes, you can resubmit again without your name and I will review it. But please redact it next time. Okay, there's one more aside from this guy who just commented in chat. Let me just take a look. Right, so this was this guy I just had a look at. Yeah, and then this is the next guy. Okay. Anything else? Nope, looks good to me. Oh, where the hell's my download? Okay, here it is. What the hell is Control J doing? Yo, hello? Here it is. Okay, boom. Okay. So we have one more here, and then if the guy re-uploads in time, I'll review that one as well. So this guy's comment is just want to improve it for a casual job search. Okay, cool. I don't know what casual job search means, but I like the vibe of a casual job search, so that's cool. So this guy's in actually a 4th year, right? So this guy's in 4th year, almost graduated. Yeah. So experience wise, okay, so so you have 2 rows. Okay, so one thing you can do here, I think what you've done here is fine, but you can also consider just putting them over here, like putting the two pieces at a time over there too. I mean, you're a bit tight on space, so that might be something you should consider, but that's a small net. It doesn't really matter. So this is recent. Okay, so you took like a summer off. Okay, so you were there for a while. This is recent as well. This was right before. Oh no, this is a bit of overlap with this actually. Okay, I see. Okay, that makes sense. That was before that, and this was right before that. Wait, what? Oh, these 2 overlapping as well? This is March. Yeah, these 2 are overlapping as well. And then this is before that. Okay. Okay, so let's take a look. So this is just casual job search. Okay, let's do a casual review then. This is all fine. This is good. Yeah, category, etc. That's fine. Blah blah blah. Jetpack. Oh, I haven't seen that in a long time. Confluence, MySQL. It feels a bit weird grouping like Jira in the same category as MySQL, but I mean honestly, it fits nice in the 2 lines, so I'm not gonna complain. That's good. So mobile dev software. Okay, mobile dev. Let's take financial services. Blah blah blah. Generative chatbot. Build front end, backend features, and experiments. Honestly, this is actually pretty well written. Like everything is clear here. Nothing too fancy. Nothing too crazy. All the points are believable. Okay, I mean that's exactly what I like. Okay, mobile responsiveness. Implemented mobile responsiveness. Trying to go. Okay, I got. Okay, this is fine. And resolve known and hidden bugs. I feel like this is a bit of a 2-point situation. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like this point here doesn't really add any value to this one personally. Refactor code base improvement maintainability, readability leading to 20%. Yeah, okay, honestly, I can accept that. 28% is quite significant. Biotechnical Association software member. Ovarian cancer, stuff like that. Sensor, microcontroller, non-contact thermal contrast reading. What does that mean? Implemented non-contact thermal contrast reading. This is like a piece of software? Like I don't understand what the output here is, but maybe that's just me. Model CAR T cell therapy. Oh, this is good. I would personally put this one first. This is the most software relevant one, so I'll put that one first. But yeah, points are fine. It's very specific, but I think this one at least indicates that you've gone in depth, that you understand what's going on here. So I think this is actually quite a strong point, a strong experience overall. Okay, software development company, controlled goods, aerospace company. Okay. If it's acquired, I would say like acquired by X, something like that, just to be a bit explicit on that one. But it doesn't really matter. Research, gather requirements, design, implemented, thoroughly documented integration on new network protocol, flagship product. Okay, that one actually sounds fine. I'm usually not too big a fan of like soft stuff like that, but for aerospace, I know that that sector, they really care about documentation, they really care about that kind of stuff, so I think this is actually quite fine. Implementing code generation, that's fine. Okay, rest of the stuff doesn't really matter. The first one is quite good though. I'd say personally, to save space, you could honestly, like, okay, you have a technical point, you have a good point here, you have a technical point here. These two are kind of, they feel kind of the same thing, where just like I talked to people and I did stuff with them. I feel like you could potentially combine those two if you want to save space. Okay, software quality hard. Okay. Are there unique competencies here? Like test rail, what is test rail? Test rail, okay, so personally speaking, I would consider moving this to 1 point, right? So, I mean, yeah, so I would personally get rid of this. Keep 1 point here, that's fine. Because I think you would be much better off saving a point to put in one of these instead. So for example, you could always put a point here. I feel there's much more to say there. You could put a point here as well. I feel there's something to say here. Or you can expand on both of these and make them distinct. So if you can make these 2 points talk about something that's different from each other, that could be a way to justify having 2 points here. Frankly, having a second point for the QA thing like 3 years ago by the time you graduate is not going to add any value to the resume. These are fine. I don't really care about that. These are fine. Pretty strong resume overall, honestly. Pretty good stuff. Just some minor tweaks to suggest. Okay, what's going on? Can you read my resume? Oh yeah, that's the guy I just talked to. I'm the one who uploaded the 2-page without GitHub link redacted. It just submitted. Okay, I will review yours because I'm a kind person. I will review it. All right. So this is the one you have redacted, right? With the GitHubs? Yes. Okay. Now I can review it. All right. And your comment is what? Your comment is first co-application improving each points. Okay. Okay. So first things first. Okay. It's 2 pages. It's 2 pages. I can tell you right now that you do not need 2 pages. Okay, so there's 2 things I'll do for you. The first thing I'll tell you is what you can get rid of, and the second thing I'll tell you is what you need to focus more on. Okay, so experience. These are, oh, another Viking Labs person. Cool. Oh, this is you. No, this must be a Vikings thing, right? UVic Vikings. Okay, so you must. Okay, so this is. What is this thing? Administrator and software team lead. Software team lead. What software are you leading? You're leading what software? Okay, so this is the thing, right? You're a software team lead. I don't see any software here. There's no software. Right? Like this sounds like the administrator part. So that's the first thing I'll say, is that it's immediately a bit suspicious. Okay, but first things first. This is fine. This is fine. Hackathon products, you don't have to separate out. I'll tell you which one's better. Okay, I'll just tell you right off the bat. Wait, what kind of role are you going for? You didn't say. Trying to make each point better reflect my skills. Hopefully get some feedback on that. Okay, so you didn't say exactly what your role you're going for. So again, I want to assume it's going to be for. Full stack software engineer. Software engineer full stack. Exactly. Okay. So first things first. Okay. This has no full stack software engineer value. What's this one? So if for example, like, so to put it on, what you would do is you would just have this literally one line and say first place, and then you put your date here. That's it. None of these points have anything about full stack web dev, frankly. Okay, let's just fully honest. All right, what's this? This is a course planner. This is another hackathon. Okay, that's good. User experience, PostgreSQL. Okay, so again, right? So you name drop some technologies, but notice that like putting technology here is no different than putting technology here, because over here all you do is you said you used it to do something. Like Tailwind CSS is for CSS, right? So you should actually keep that consistent. You should keep that consistent here, right? So, right, PostgreSQL for database management, of course, data and user information. I mean, like if you look at it practically speaking, right? Obviously, PostgreSQL is going to be used for database management. Like you're not going to be using PostgreSQL for making CSS, right? That doesn't make any sense. So if your only goal of putting Postgres in the points is to say that you used it, put it over here. It's the same purpose and it saves way more space, right? And I would say, frankly, this could be also. Did you win anything? If you didn't win anything, you could just you can just have this be the like just the first point, like just the first point, right? Like if you look at the rest of the stuff has no value over just listing it over here. Right? So keep in mind when you make a point, it has to have added value over just listing it. All right, this is your project. First point makes sense. Second point, okay, this one you can put probably 3 points on. So this is like performance, right? Performance. This is good. If you have performance, put the performance on. That makes sense. Okay, open source contributions. I don't know what this thing is. Okay, I don't know what this thing is. These things don't really matter. Open source is fine. Open source is fine. But because none of these details matter, like for example, if you want to say you did open source, I don't really care how many caching tests you made. That doesn't really matter. But you can still put it on, but just put it on by having 1 point. No points. Just have just a header. Just this, right? Just this open source contributions. And then you can link to the GitHub and then they can go find your commits if they care about it, right? So that's how it is. What is this? Also, why is there a gap here? Is this a page break? Anyways, ground support system. What is that? Rocket performance analysis. Front end. Oh, is this for the design team or what is this? Right. So this point makes sense. This point doesn't. This point makes sense for visualization. This point doesn't matter because you already had it over here. This one is okay. This point's good. So I would say, because this is a design team, because this is based on the school, you should keep this one. This one makes sense. But you should say, if it's not said, I don't know if it's said here already, but if it's not said, you should say this is a design team because that matters a lot more than just like a random project. That's frankly not going to be like this is just not going to make the cut. I'm sorry, like this level of project is just not going to make the cut. So you can get rid of that. You can get rid of that. This could be if you want to go for robotics. You can talk about this. For software full stack, this has no value. Java, do you have any more Java experience? You have Java over here. Yeah, this has no value either. Okay, what is this? Community engagement volunteer experience, graphics and LinkedIn coordinator for the engineering society. Okay, this is good. So for example, this makes sense. But what I would do is for you, I would pick between having either this or this. Because like here you have the scenario, like you're organizing stuff for like workshops. You have some like Monday sessions. Here you're also like just doing like it's the same kind of idea, right? So what I would do is I would just list this as is, and expand. I would let you keep I would say 3 points here, 2 points here. That makes sense, or even better, I would put this point, this experience, and this side by side, and just expand on one of them, or maybe put like 1 point under each. So just to kind of give a high level idea what you're doing, right? Because like for example, if you're already talking about what's going on over here, putting more points over here doesn't really add value, especially because posting on social media is not a skill for software full stack. Okay. Certs, let me tell you what's a cert here. Okay, I'll be real with you. None of these are AWS or KRC certs. None of these matter. What I would do is actually what someone else did earlier, which was a pretty good idea actually. If I can find it. Okay, I can't find it. I know it was today though. I had to be able to find it. Come on, where the hell is this thing? Yeah, over here, which is they have a link to Udemy or wherever or Coursera or wherever you have skills. Put a link there where you have all the skills. So what you can do, or not skills, sorry, certs. So what you can do is like over here, right? Put a link to your certs and say, and then on your technical, or a link here is fine too. Put a link to your certs and say, over 5 web dev certs, something like that. Because I'll be real with you, none of these certs really matter. The certs that really matter are the AWS certs. I say AWS because I worked there previously, but like AWS, GCP, Azure certs, those ones matter. Some Docker certs matter. Most of them don't. Especially the front end ones, they really don't matter because people know that the variance in output of a cert is so high that you can't really trust those at all. And so generally speaking, people will be looking at your projects or your websites for a better idea for, what kind of front-end experience you're at. Okay, that's how you cut it out. And if you cut those out, yeah, you should be well within 1 page. All right. The last thing is, did the guy upload his redacted resume? This guy has not. Let me see. Can you please review my resume uploaded 30 minutes ago? Yes. Okay, well, since no one else is uploaded, I mean, not no one else, but this guy hasn't uploaded the resume, I'm not going to review it. I'm going to mark the form for here. Let me just mark it, and actually I'll mark it here because I did yours as well. All right, that's it. Everyone, get out. Oh, can you access Figma file? No, because some here in the past have unredacted resumes, and you should have no need for resume file for the Figma file because this file will be uploaded to YouTube under the live tab on the channel, and you can just watch it there.